board reconvenes public session. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're back in public session.
Thank you. We'll now have our student representative report.
Not yet. First, it's just the first back to school video.
Oh, we have, okay, back to school video. Student presentation.
So we are going to have some student presentations virtually from now till the new year, just because we're kind of reacclimating ourselves to the room here. And typically with student presentations, a lot of parents want to come, so the room gets kind of packed. So for everybody's comfort, I wanted to make sure that we had some student presentations still, but people did feel comfortable with everybody being packed in the room here. Today is not a student presentation, it's more of a video that Judy Palermo is narrating, and she just interviewed some students and took some videos of some students just being back at school. And it's really good. It's kind of short, 4.5, 5 minutes, but it really gives a good account of kids being back in the buildings.
What a difference a year makes. In fall 2021, students once again fill our schools. More than 7,000 students enter 12 buildings every day, and the sights and sounds of learning are everywhere. They wear masks, they keep their distance, but they are together.
I mean, it's wonderful to be back at school. I did actually do the hybrid model, so I got to kind of see how it was gonna be this year, and it's pretty good so far. The school year, the teachers are back in doing their nice academic rigor. Students are happy to be back at school. I'm happy to be back at school, so it's pretty good. Safe. There's sanitizers and stuff around. People can wash their hands. They know the rules. Bathrooms are being cleaned. So I really have no complaints so far.
It's really nice. Like, I can see my friends again. I can join clubs. And to be honest, I was getting really sick of virtual school.
Well, I feel very good because after being inside for like 9 months, it was very boring to see my dog all day. So
I feel really good about it because, I mean, last year I was at a different school. I didn't really get that many chances to meet anybody. Like, if I was constantly cooped up in a house all day, I didn't really have anything to do other than, homework and watching YouTube most of the day. It was just really boring, and I seriously wanted to change the scenery for once, and being back in the actual building and being able to meet new friends, it's just amazing.
Definitely better than online school. In online school, I was stuck watching YouTube, anime, and just not really paying attention in class, even though I should have. And when I came back to school, I was able to quickly catch up on all assignments and just go back to the swing of things. And it was just much better. It helped my grades a lot. It helped my homework a lot.
Now our students are back at their desks, gyms, art rooms, music rooms, labs, STEM, playgrounds. They've learned to appreciate the big things and the little things.
It's great. It's really relieving, after what happened the last 18 months. It's great to be able to see people, meet new people, socialize and whatnot.
You get to meet new people, you get to hang out with your friends and meet your teachers finally, and it's a lot easier to actually do stuff in school than at home alone.
definitely meeting new people and being able to see my friends each and every day. I really took that for granted before school closed, and now I'm very happy that's back.
I look forward to learning a lot because during Zoom it was really hard to concentrate, but being back in person I get to learn more things every single day.
And they've got some good advice for their fellow students.
Just enjoy the moment, because we won't be in middle school for long.
I'm not sure, just be hopeful maybe. It's gonna be a good year. We're 8th graders and some of us are 8th graders, and there's a lot of perks that come with being back at school. It'll be good.
Just be confident with the fact that we're finally in a building and this year is going to be the best year that it can be.
I think that the best that what helped for me, just try to find something, do something that makes you happy.
Meet as many people as possible. Make friends. I mean, we weren't able to do it last year, so might as well take the advantage while we can.
Just have fun, have no regrets, and be kind to everyone.
Just join as many clubs as possible. It's really easy to meet new people everywhere you go, and it's harder to not get involved with school when you're not in clubs.
I would definitely say meet more people and make connections. What we're given right now isn't a promise and it may not last forever. So it's definitely good to make new connections and meet new people.
Let's try to keep the school open for as long as we can.
So, again, I want to thank Judy Palermo for putting that together. She interviewed a few people, and it was really nice. I think what strikes me with these kids is for a generation tied to their electronics, every one of them talked about missing people. So as much as possible for their social and emotional learning, it's really important for us to be back in schools, for us to run everything in clubs as normally as we can. And a couple of kids said it, don't take things for granted and make sure that we're doing everything we can to make people feel welcome, to treat them the right way, and to help them understand the world isn't as always what they planned, right? It can change tomorrow. So again, I thank Judy and the student presentations that we'll have between now and January will be virtual like this. Different schools will put on some things, but they'll be taped, and then we'll send those tapes to the school so they can see. That concludes that section.
Thank you, Dr.
Sure.
And I just would like to say that was so wonderful, and the children, they spoke from their hearts.
Yeah.
They were so
No scripts.
honest about how they felt and what this meant to them. So I thank all of you, Judy in particular, for getting that done. Okay, now we have our student representative report.
Would Naya's report be presented?
No, I'm going to do it here. I have it here on my
All right,
iPad.
so
here,
is it going to be projected? Is it going to be projected or?
No, I'm just going to read it, just like you would when you were up at the other building.
All
at the high
right,
school.
so should I start off with my remarks? Or?
Yeah, you can. Yep.
Um,
You can do it right from your chair there. That's fine. Would you like me to just start and show you kind of what
yes.
it's all about? Just like the other building, not a problem. So from Anaya, so far this has been a great month into the school year. A lot of students have expressed that it is kind of going back to normal, pre-pandemic, and they are very happy to be back in the school. Most people are following the mask mandate guidelines. Some students do need to be reminded about wearing their masks and putting it over their noses. But when they ask, they follow the rules and it's not a problem. A lot of students have expressed that they are very excited for the pep rally next week, including myself, Anaya. It was supposed to be on the 17th of September, but it got pushed back to October 22nd. We are looking forward to the activities lined up and cheer and dance team performances. Being that we haven't had a pep rally in about 4 years, we are very excited for this event. And it will be held outside, by the way. The Junior Class Council will be selling Class of 2022 t-shirts to fundraise for prom. We are also planning to have a popcorn sale as well as more information as well. More information will be discussed on that very soon. The yearbook is currently for sale. I encourage students to get the money in for the yearbook, especially seniors, since we actually have pictures in person this year. This week also has, this Spirit Week is next week, 10/18 to 22, days beginning. Monday is Jersey Day, Tuesday is Twin Day, Wednesday is Pink Out, Breast Cancer Awareness, Thursday is Decades Day, and Friday is Chiefs Day. And that's all I had said.
All right. So continuing off what Anaya said, I would like to start off by saying tremendous progress that everyone has made towards familiarizing themselves and accommodating themselves to the new schedule and in-person school experience. The AV schedule has begun to be understood and welcomed by many of the school body, and this is because it provides more balanced daily class distribution, more passing time, and an extra class period. Students have faced many struggles throughout the last year, and it's becoming more clear that they appreciate being back in a more familiar environment. Regarding safety, almost all students are wearing their masks. Again, there are occasionally instances where students need to be reminded, but in general, safety protocols are upheld, and there is always hand sanitizer available. There's always hand washing protocols. Safety is taken seriously. Another key development is starting of clubs. That was notably missing last year. Students are really starting to get involved in their school again. You can see by the large amount of students staying after school, participating in different activities, something that you couldn't really do last year. And I think this benefits the school student body greatly, in that they're getting involved, and that would make them better. That they didn't have that opportunity last year. I would say that concludes my remarks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Veer, meetings like this you're welcome to stay, and I know we say this all the time. This one's gonna be a long one, right? We have a few presentations that are gonna take up a lot of time. You're welcome to stay and hang out. You're welcome to kind of duck out, whatever you feel.
Yes, sir.
All right? Thank you. Any questions for Veer?
Very well done.
Yeah, well done.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
President's Report. Every October, school across New Jersey honor the first week in October as Week of Respect, and the third week as Violence Awareness Week. There are important weeks to our students and staff, as all schools focus on age-appropriate activities and programs to help raise awareness of proper and welcome behaviors. Here are some of the programs specific to each school. During the Week of Respect and Violence Awareness Week, our youngest elementary school students take part in discussion about spreading kindness, how one should treat others and expect to be treated by others, how to make the school community a better place, how to resolve conflicts, how to be helping hands, how to be a buddy, not a bully. Some elementary schools will hold theme days about peace, respecting differences, and kindness. Marquee messages about kindness greet the students each morning. Reading for the week will focus on friendship and kindness. At the intermediate schools, Arbor created a de-escalation plan for when they feel overwhelmed and identify 3 people who can help them. Teen students will review online etiquette and safety and review tips for health and safety posted in Schoology. A daily theme will focus students on positive traits. At the middle school, Kanakamak conducted classroom lessons based on preventing violence and bullying and promoting peace and respect. Counselors and behaviorists engage students during lunch with activities that highlight the dangers of bullying and how to prevent violence and wise decision making. At Quibbletown, teachers rewarded students playing respect with PBS Shield points. Students entered school each morning to Aretha Franklin singing Respect. Shaw participated in Lady Gaga Be Kind 21 challenge as part of the Born That Way Foundation. This is the morning announcements. Morning announcements will feature Lady Gaga daily kindness advice. Students took classes in managing anger and followed the writing prompt. What does peace mean to you? School counselors offered parents tips to help students tolerate frustrations and deal with strong feelings, while staff focused on inclusion for LGBTQ community. At PHS, students worked with different themes each day, including Mind Your Anger. Don't let your anger manage you. Promote respect and tolerance. Resolve conflicts peacefully. Use your resources and think before you hit send. Videos are posted on Schoology for each topic. During both weeks, all school included information and encouragement and morning announcements. So just, as I close, I think what all of us have to remember is not only is this a week of respect, but this is also a week of kindness and friendship, and this is what we focus on for all of us, not just the students, but teachers, faculty as well. Kindness and respect. And we thank the teachers in particular, all of the teachers and administrators that thought to put this together, and just to remind our students how important it is to respect one another. Thank you, Dr. Rinaldi.
Thank you. For the superintendent's report, I have, I think, 5 major areas in the report tonight, so they'll be broken down in a bit. First, as we do all the time, we have our superintendent's report. It's on our website under the Superintendent's Corner. And this month, we didn't set out to highlight these things, but it's amazing to see all our schools getting involved with the community and vice versa. There are articles in there that highlight Bob's Discount Warehouse, their new location, donating $2,500 to Eisenhower. Our National Walk to School Day for safety with our police department. The Holmes Marshall Fire Company visiting Knollwood for fire prevention. Dr. Baskerville visiting and setting up student opportunities with the Mettler Bodine House, which is a state and nationally registered historic place. The PHS Key Club, working to deliver food and essentials to Piscataway families, and Dr. B was there as well. I'd really like to mention and thank Calvin Laughlin, as you all are. He's a champion for our district, and he always tries to get community involvement with the schools, whether it be setting up the Bob's Discount Warehouse, whether it be helping with the walk to school. He's a champion. I wish he was here to thank him, but I will relay those sentiments. So, and many of the things that I talked about, he was there. So. Also, articles in the superintendent's report about Hispanic Heritage Month, emotional and mental health for our staff, which is extremely important to us. So once again, please find the superintendent's report online under the superintendent's report. The second and third part of my superintendent's report are some safety and I guess COVID response plans that I need to review and have the board ask any questions if they have any questions. And the first one was in your packets, and it is the American Rescue Plan Safe Return. It's a 2-pager with the bullets that we have there. And it really talks about the continuity of services. It was originally approved on June 10th, 2021, scheduled to be updated and approved every 60 days. It was done August 2020 in our August meeting, and it's scheduled to be done tonight at tonight's meeting. It outlines how the school district will maintain health and safety and continuity of services. The plan was sent home in your CSO, and it outlines items such as mask wearing, social distancing, hand washing, cleaning protocols, contact tracing, vaccination efforts, continuity of services through 2021, and again, the plan is on our website and will be updated as such after approvals. So with that, does the board have any questions about the American Rescue Plan? All right, it is an agenda item for approval on the board minutes. Oh no, I'm sorry, that one just has to be updated, right? Just noted, right? Okay. The second plan hasn't been introduced yet, but it's something that we need to do and get done by October 29th. It is the Emergency Virtual Instruction Plan. It was in your packets as well. It's another plan that, again, I sent home in the packets and needs to be board approved and submitted to the county this month. This plan outlines some similar things to the other one. Number one, the table of contents, it outlines quarantining of students and staff. Our response to remote virtual instruction process for quarantine students, any home instruction and how we'll handle that, our student attendance, technology equity, the continuity of nutrition and how we'll deliver our food services, and staff remote work due to quarantine. Now, these are and have been the foundation of our responses to these situations, and we make necessary changes as we need to. So again, as I sent it home, and hopefully you look through it, are there any questions about the emergency virtual instruction? Okay. You'll see that as an agenda item to be approved. Thank you. Our next presentation You know what, before we do that, Dr. Ray, let me do this real quick. During Tropical Storm Ida and the days immediately following, and still today, our district personnel worked tirelessly in cooperation with the township to help the affected families. Mayor Waller signed a proclamation and presented it to the township this past week, and it is right here, and I'd like to read it and thank them as well. I'm going to need my glasses for this one. Sorry. Whereas Piscataway Township values its renewed positive relationship with Piscataway schools under the leadership of Board of Education President Shalia Hobson, and whereas Hurricane Ida brought extreme weather conditions to New Jersey on September 1, 2021, causing, in some cases, catastrophic damage to the homes of Piscataway residents, and whereas many homes along the River Road corridor were severely affected, most notably apartments adjacent to the Raritan River, where some residents needed to be evacuated by boat by volunteer first responders. And whereas Superintendent Dr. Frank Cornelli, Director of Administrative Services Colleen Pongratz, and school personnel worked tirelessly to identify families with children displaced by the storm. And whereas Governor Phil Murphy provided needed emergency financial assistance to temporarily house these residents whose homes were either destroyed or left without electricity and hot water. Whereas Piscataway Township arranged for rooms at the Embassy Suites in Radisson in Piscataway. And whereas families with children were given priority placement in these hotels. And whereas Piscataway schools provided school bus service for these children staying at the Embassy Suites and the Radisson. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Brian C. Waller, Mayor of the Township of Piscataway, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, express extraordinary appreciation to the leadership of Piscataway schools for acting without haste and in concert with Piscataway Township to safeguard the well-being of families in our community, and be it further resolved that the Piscataway Township looks forward to continued cooperation with Piscataway schools to ensure all Piscataway children have a robust assortment of resources that enables productive and enriching lives. October 12th, 2021.
That's great. That is great.
Okay, so now Dr. Gregg. The district has been committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I've been here 8 years and we've been discussing it the entire time. Discussing it, going through some trainings, putting our teachers and administrators through difficult conversations, through training about these difficult conversations. And again, doing this work for years and always have appreciated the board's support for building a district foundation. We don't like, and Dr. B knows this, and he's probably sick of me saying this, we don't like to bring in programs. There's programs come and go. What we like to do is build foundations that are going to be in place long after we're all gone. So that means they're worthwhile and they're really making a difference. Dr. Gray took over our new position, and again, thank you for the support of that position, of Director of Diversity, Equity, and Instruction back in July. And here for a short presentation on the work he's been doing for the past 5 months, Dr. Alex Gray.
Thank you, Dr. Manelli. Thank you, board, for trusting me in this role, inaugural role as Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Over the summer, Dr. Manelli said, around October, I'm going to have you come to a board meeting and share all the things that you would have been doing. Of course, I was open to that, but had no idea what I would have to share. But we're fortunate that I have some slides, and the slides have information on some of the things that I've been able to do and things that I'm planning to do in this role. So thank you in advance for indulging me. I'm glad that I have something to share, Dr. Manelli.
Me too.
You know, one thing I do when I talk to anyone about this position, particularly staff throughout the district, I let them know that, like Dr. Manelli said, this is not a program, this is not a new initiative. This is embedded in what we've already been doing as educators. When we signed on to be educators, we signed on to work with diverse populations, especially here in Piscataway. We signed on to having a sense of belonging and inclusion and working on issues of equality and equity. That's what we signed on to do. And there have been many things that have taken place already in the district prior to this role even being created. And so I've been fortunate to be able to work in this role, not knowing I was preparing for this position. But in 2016, Dr. Connolly and I from the Haven, we presented at NYU at a disproportionality conference. I'm talking about some of these issues way back then. Since then, I've been able to, under the direction of Dr. Manelli, present at summer leadership sessions or even sessions of leadership throughout the year on issues of equity to our leadership team. I've been able to help establish, when we had it at the time in the middle schools, our math potential program. I've been able to establish goals under Dr. Nelly's approval related directly towards equity and targeting underrepresented groups. And I've had for a number of years principal goals in those areas. I've been able to start the MLK Day of Service, which we're very proud of at King School. And we've had a very vibrant and successful equity committee for a number of years at King School. I also let people know that 20 plus years ago, when I was in college, this work wasn't nearly at the level that it is now. We barely had any classes, those of us who were in college way back then, on equity or diversity or any of that work. And so I'm not a specialist in this field, and I have a degree in this field, but I am passionate about it. And so I tell everyone that we're learning together, and while I'm leading this effort and I'm leading in this area, I'm also learning as I go. And so over the summer, I was able to participate in the one-day New Jersey Department of Education Equity Conference. I had an opportunity a couple weeks ago with Ms. Deidre Ortiz to attend the Middlesex County Educators Summit on student mental health. I've attended on my own, just finding some webinars on implicit bias and dissecting discrimination, just to enhance my own knowledge. And for a number of years, I believe this is our 4th year, as a district, along with about 15 other districts in Central Jersey, we're part of a consortia of schools through the New Jersey Consortia of Excellence through Equity. And I actually had a session this morning, and it's a series of workshops throughout the entire school year with speakers from across the country that are brought in to talk about issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm also, through 3 parts, myself and Noelle April in my department of the New Jersey Principal and Supervisors Association Equity and Action Leadership Academy. It's a 4-part series that she and I have been participating in with other educators in New Jersey, which helps us identify an issue that we want to look at related to equity in our district. But instead of other conferences and things that where you just identify it and talk about it, through all 4 sessions, it actually walks us through identifying an issue and actually learning how to take action to delve into that issue and make progress towards a goal for that issue. So we're very proud to participate in that. I've been doing what I call my DEI tour. So I've been going around to all the faculty meetings. I only have a few more schools to hit, but I've been going to faculty meetings, sharing, introducing myself first for many of the staff whom I don't know, but also sharing what I would say is the platform for our district regarding DEI. And I put together a presentation, shared it with Dr. Nelly, shared it with Dr. Baskerville, to make sure that the things I had in that presentation aligned with our district goals around DEI. But I felt it was very important to make sure that throughout the entire district, we have a common language, a common understanding, and a common approach to what this DEI work is going to be and what it's not going to be. And that they understand my philosophy when it comes to that. I try to make it very engaging. I use actually photos and some pictures from my own family and my children to actually use that to define diversity, to define equity, to define inclusion in a way that's very relatable and understandable for everyone. And I've also been able to identify some short-term goals, things that they can see and they're going to see throughout this year, but also being very realistic about the long-term efforts that this work is going to take to embed this work in years to come. Potential partnerships, and these are some of these things I didn't anticipate, but early in the summer, I was approached from someone from the Rutgers Business School who was looking to partner with us, and these are all potential partnerships, and I hope in a presentation to come in the future I can share the progress, but we're in the works, and I've had at least one meeting with members of the Rutgers Business School, with the School of Engineering, members of the Graduate School of Psychology, as well as the Division of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement, where each of those areas we're looking to partner not only with Piscataway High School, with our business department and engineering academy, but also in other levels throughout our district to help engage in research and to really highlight the things that we're doing well and help strengthen our work around DEI in our district. So we're very, very proud of those things, and I can't wait to share the progress in future presentations. In addition to that, I've also been busy with freshman seminar, and we're very fortunate to have Noel April and Dawn Dionisio at the high school who built our freshman seminar program and are continuing to make progress with it. We're very excited that this is our first year of the program face-to-face, and the growth that we anticipate that we're going to have with our freshmen as they transition into the high school this year. A big focus of mine has been AP and honors, and I'm very passionate about that, and so I've already begun to delve into our AP and honors data at the high school, meeting with Mr. Barsano, Teresa Edmondson, the counseling director, to really delve into that and to look at, are we providing the necessary access to all of our students and from all of our backgrounds in our AP and honors. I've had the privilege to work with our displaced families. Ms. Pongratz passed over some of that work to me, and Harry Vandenberg from the preschool and I were actually able to sit down with families at the Radisson, at the NBC Suites, to talk with them face to face about what their needs were as a family, as well as the needs for their children, and to make sure that they knew that they had our support throughout this entire process. And we're still doing that work even today. We're preparing for the Middlesex Day of Dialogue, which brings together high schools across Middlesex County. This will take place in November. We're selecting students from each grade level at the high school, 3 students, to engage in discussions with their peers from across Middlesex County to talk about issues of race, gender, and class. And so we're excited about that. This is our first time participating, and we're looking forward to the great work that's going to come from that. One of our student representatives, Nia Lawhorn, she's in our high school race and gender class. And last week I had the chance to actually sit in that class, and all I did was listen. And you'll be amazed at the level of discussion among our high school students around topics that some of which may go over some of our heads. And the insight they brought to that discussion, I just sat there in awe and did not say a word the entire time, and I took notes. So I was excited about that and look forward to more opportunities like that. And I've just been around. I've just been visible during the school day, in the evenings, attending various celebrations, various events, and just being present to be around and get a pulse of what's going on in the district. So future areas of focus to expect in future.
Dr. Gray, can I interrupt one
Yes,
second?
yes.
So I was a little unfair to Dr. Gray when we were talking about this job, right? We had a job description, but he's like, Frank, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I don't know. Just go do what you gotta do, right? Knowing that the job kind of will come to him. But I think the more important work is that we were both on the same, under the same understanding of what the district wanted, needed, and the vision. What we need to be careful with Dr. Gray is his eagerness to help, and so much work out there to do. So we're really careful to say, Alex, utilize your time in these places, because everybody's pulling him in a million directions, and he's doing a great job. Fielding the things that he needs to field and getting his hands dirty with the things that he needs to do. So I couldn't be happier with the work, but I do want to let everybody know that your willingness to do everything is very much appreciated.